So good morning to all of you. I welcome you to this class on RDBMS. In today's class, we are going to learn about the basics of RDBMS and we'll be learning something about SQL. So let's begin first of all with the subject presentation. Subject name, Relational Database Management System. Subject code, ACCS 16405. This is my faculty profile. I'm Engineer Ajay Sharma. You can read my profile on screen. You can read my areas of interest. And most of you have already subscribed to my YouTube channel. If not, then you can do it because whatever we are going to learn would be, uploaded each day on my channel. So you can just follow my channel to have a recap of things that we are going to learn. Well, let's begin. Like what's a database? We are going to study relational database management system. So the first question that comes to mind is, what is a database? So a database is a collection of related data at the centralized location. Okay. So the focus is on the word related. We cannot just keep all sorts of data, together. We keep data which is related together. Now, the objectives of learning this course would offer you a very good understanding of the database system concepts and would prepare you to be in a position to use and design databases for different applications. Okay, so you require the use of database in every project, in every application that you work with. In any company, in any organization, people are maintaining database of their products, of their processes, of their employees. So all the more, database becomes very important entity in any organization. Now, what is the importance? It would, a database management system or a relational database management system. It allows you for efficient storage, retrieval, and processing of data. Okay, so you can store data, you can retrieve data. That means you can look back on that data, you can watch it again, right? Then you can process that data. Okay, then usually without a relational database management system, if you process data, it would take a large amount of time. Okay, so that's why companies, they use databases to manage the records, the information contained in the organization in a faster way. Okay, manufacturer, for example, might use this database to keep track of the production, inventory, and distribution. Employees, they can use this data to complete accounting reports, or they can calculate sales estimates and invoice customers. And the system, the relational database management system, provides you a relevant security and recovery to the vital data of organizations. So this is a very important concept actually. That is security. First of all, the data should be secure. It should not be tampered with, that anybody can just come and tamper with the data or can damage data. But even if that happens, even if that security is bypassed, then it should have a mechanism of recovery so that we can recover the data. So okay, a good relational database management system like the one we have in Oracle is always having a very secure system, and even if some problem is there, the data can be recovered very easily. Now, these are the topics that we are going to cover in RDBMS. Obviously, we are going through with the introduction to database systems. Then we would be learning with the data models, the different types of models that are available. Then we'll be studying the relational model in detail. Okay, and then we'll be learning about the database design, that is the concept of normalization. Then we would be working with how the transactions, they are managed, okay, in a multi-user environment, how the transactions, they are managed. Like you are say working with some online ordering sites, so how your transactions are being managed there. Okay, then concurrency control would be another topic that we would cover in RDBMS. Concurrency control would mean that if multiple users are working on a database concurrently, how they should be allowed to work so that there are no clashes. Okay, there are no interference of one person's work with another. Then the next would be the database protection, how we can protect the database. This would all be the theoretical part, which would be, aided by these two things at the end that I've mentioned. That is the structured query language, SQL, and its programming aspect known as PLSQL. So these are the two practical aspects of this subject, which would make you a very, very strong, data analyst. Okay, if you are good in SQL and in PLSQL, then you can fit it in any role of data analytics in any organization. Keep that in mind, right? Now, what are the course outcomes? That means once you finish learning this course, what would be the course outcomes, right? So first one would be to understand the concepts of design principles for logical design of databases, including the ER method and the normalization approach. That means once you finish this course, you would be able to design databases on your own, and not just simple databases. You would be designing some specialized, normalized, effective, databases. And then you would also understand the application areas of SQL. That is where all you can apply the concept of SQL. You would also be familiar with the basic issues of transaction processing and concurrency control. Okay. Then you would learn what are the various threats to the security of a database, and you would take proper measures to protect against it. And then you can also identify the different types of database failures and techniques to recover from them. That means what are the possible scenarios in which your database can fail and how you can recover your data from it. Okay. And then another one, the important one would be you'd be learning, how to connect your database to some front-end technologies like Python, Java, and so on. So these are the, course outcomes. That is the things which you would gain once you finish learning this course, RDBMS. These are the suggested books. The books with the bold are the ones I would recommend that you can take. You can find them, these PDFs on online. Okay, you can get them online, right? All the books are good, but the first three would be the good ones, right? So you can just have a look. You can take a screenshot of this. I'll be sharing this presentation with you guys on your ERP also. So you can just pick up this presentation from there. So what knowledge would be achieved once you finish learning RDBMS? Okay, what are the things that you would gain? Okay, so you would learn database design, you would understand what is data retrieval, what is data maintenance, how to manage the concurrent transactions, how to manage security, and how to go ahead with application development. Okay, because whatever application you design, it would always be supported by a database application at the back end. So database is going to be there whatever you do. Okay. So all the more importance of this database design in application development. Now, obviously you would ask that why we should use RDBMS. So you can have a safety of your data. You can have multiple users picking up your data at the same time, which is known as the concurrent access. Your database would be having fault tolerance. That is, even if there are failures, you can recover your data. Then data integrity would be there. This we'll discuss once we start learning RDBMS. Then scalability would be there. You can, just scale your application to, you can scale your application to large, platforms. Like if you can just design one small stable database, then it can be used by hundreds and thousands of users. And then you can also do some reporting out of it. You can pick up some small scale reports or short-term reports while you are using your database. Then applications, I told you, databases are used everywhere. And you know it. You are already working on that. You worked with some projects in your previous semester. You've used some file handling concept there. You've seen the difficulty that you have with file handling. So a database is a better way of working with data, right? So it could be the management systems, the hospital, school, library, it could be banking. Okay. In banking, you see all your transactions, they are being managed by a database. You can just view all your transactions anytime. Then airlines, universities, sales, manufacturing, human resources, everywhere you have a database in the picture, right? Then once you go beyond this RDBMS, you can work with the big data analytics, you can work with the data warehouse. Data warehouse is where you just keep on piling up all your data and then you can do some analysis out of it. Okay. Then data mining is there, that is extracting some meaningful information from a given data, and then distributed computing. So these are the advanced technologies based on databases, right? Now, what is the career significance of this subject? Like if you're learning this subject, what is the benefit for you, right? So first of all, it's a core subject in your degree. Okay, in your BTech, this is one of the most important subjects that you can learn. Then it's a key subject while you are having some placements or you're going for some gate examination or the UGC net exam, or for the various competitive exams, banking, PSPCL, whatever exams you go through, you have questions related to databases and SQL. Okay. Then if you go in for higher studies, even then there you have these advanced database systems or data warehouse and data management sort of systems are there. So you can, if you have a basic learning in databases, then you can have an easy learning path in these subjects. And you can also go ahead with your research work. Okay, if you are desirous of doing some research work, then you can also work that in your databases. So a lot of importance to this databases or SQL is there. So all the more the impetus for you to learn it properly. Now, what are the key positions that you can hold? You could be a DBA. Okay, so database administrator is a very important post, but it's a very very limited post, because like one company can have one DBA at the most. Okay, there could be multiple also. So DBA could be there, a backup manager could be there, a recovery manager could be there. So these are the key positions which you can go for once you have mastered the concept of databases. Then you can go with the various certification exams also. These are the certifications that I've mentioned. I've given the links also. So you can just go ahead and see what all certifications are there and how you can benefit out of it. So Oracle certification, if we see, we have the Oracle Certified Professional, OCP, Oracle Certified Administrator, and so on. Like you can see, then there are the Microsoft Certified Database Administrator also. So many certifications are there depending upon your area. Like if you're working with Oracle, you can go with Oracle certifications. If you're working with some Microsoft database, then you can go with Microsoft Certified Database Administrator, and so on. Then there are MySQL certifications. Okay, MySQL is another type of database management system. Then the IBM's DB2 is there. Okay, and then the IBM Certified Advanced Database Administrator exams are there. So all these certifications you can have a look. It's available online. You can just see what sort of certifications you people want to go ahead with. And beyond this, you can learn all these topics: embedded SQL, ODBC, JDBC connectivity, big data analytics. You can do that, right? So that is regarding the subject PPT, right? So let's now see the installation of Oracle that we have already learned in one of the videos that I shared with you guys. So just download the Oracle from the Oracle site, and you can just run up the setup file as I've shown you on screen. Once you've done that, it will just start, installing Oracle. So here we click on next. Okay, we accept the license agreement and then click on next. Now this is the destination folder. Okay, you let it be like this. So this is your destination folder, Oracle XE, right? Okay, and then you can click on next. Now this part some of you have not understood. Whatever password you're going to give here would be the password for the users, sys, as you see on screen, and system. So these are the predefined users, sys and system, right? And whatever password you enter here would be helpful while you are logging in as the sys or the system administrator. System is the database administrator, the DBA system, which can help you to manage other users, right? Remember this. So I'm giving some password here, and of course you need to remember this password, right? And then you can just start with the installation. The installation is on. Okay. Kindly note the things I've told you. The sys and the system password we just saw on the previous screen. Okay. You need to remember that password. Initially, you can log in with the username as system and the password that you're given. Later on, you can create your own username and password also. So let's just wait for this installation to proceed and finish. It will take some amount of time. So those of you who faced problems while installing and subsequent usage of Oracle should note today's session very carefully. I'll upload this video on my channel so that you can view it later on. So now it is creating the services for Oracle. So these services are required whenever you are running Oracle. Now it's configuring the database. So we should be reaching the end of the installation soon. So that's the end of the Oracle installation. So you can click on finish. Now you can look for the Oracle folder here in your start menu, right? So you have this Oracle Express Edition here. Here you have an option, run SQL command line. Okay. By clicking on it, you can start the SQL environment. So what you can do is right click on it and click on more and just pin this to taskbar so that it's available for you to start SQL at any time. So this is the SQL, this thing shortcut in the taskbar. You click on it and then you can see this SQL here. So you can just set up the size so that there's a proper size of font here. The readability is there. Okay. And you can just pick up some font also here, right? And I think this one would be a good enough font for you. And then you connect here with the username that we set up, right? So the system username and the password that you set up there. So now you are connected to Oracle SQL as the system user. Okay. If you need to clear the screen, use this syntax. And you note the things. This is the command to clear the screen. Okay. Now, what you can do is, as a system user, you can create things. Okay. And so what you can do is, there is another user account, that is the Scott user account that we have, which contains certain predefined tables, which could be of great use to you while you're going to learn SQL. And then once you've learned the basics of SQL, then you can create your own tables, views, okay, procedures, functions, so many objects you can create in your account. Okay, so let's first see how we can unlock this account. So if I try to log in as the user Scott, okay, the password by default is Tiger. So it says that the user does not exist. So what we can do here is, I can just connect back as system, and then I can run the Scott file, which I can locate here in my Oracle installation folder. So in this folder, click on this, then click on app, click on Oracle, click on product, click on this, click on server, then click on RDBMS, and then click on admin and look for the file scott.sql. So this is the file, right? Scott.sql. So this path you can just copy from here. Okay, so this is the path under which your file scott.sql is there. Okay, and here you can execute that file. So to execute a file, you start with the @ sign, then you can paste this path, and below this you can write this scott.sql. Okay, so let's once again connect to system and see if all is well with our Scott account. We can alter this account now. So alter user Scott account unlock. You can write something like this. So you can see user is altered. Okay, we have unlocked the Scott account, and then you can change its password back to Tiger. Alter user Scott identified by Tiger. So the user is altered. So now you can log in with this Scott account with here. Okay, give the password here. So now you are connected as the user Scott, which is not a DBA user. Okay, like the system user is a DBA user, database administrator. That means the system user can control all the other users which are there in the environment. Okay, but this Scott is a limited user. So what is the benefit of Scott to us? It contains certain tables with which we can start learning SQL very easily. Okay, so let's see those tables. I'm writing the command to display all the tables in an account. So we can write select star from tab. Kindly note these statements very carefully. Select star from tab would list all the tables which are there in the Scott account. So you can see here, there is a bonus table. Okay, there is a department table, there is a emp table, there is a sal grade table. So initially we would be interested in this emp and department tables. Okay, emp and department tables, right? So if you need to see what is there in a table, what is its structure. Okay, so table, you understand, is a combination of rows and columns. So let me just describe the table emp. See the command describe emp. Like most of your SQL commands are terminated by a semicolon. Okay, all right. And some commands, they may or may not be terminated by a semicolon. For example, this describe command, you may end it with a semicolon, or you can just go without semicolon also, right? So if you see describe emp, it will tell you what all types of information is there in the emp table. Okay, don't look too much into it right now. Just see, these are the columns of information. So this emp table has information about the employee number, about their e-name, the job, the number of the manager of the employee, the date on which the employee was hired, the salary of the employee, the commission, of the employee if he gets any commission, and the department number to which the employee belongs. Okay. I would suggest, I would request you to learn all this. It should always be in your memory, like what is the structure of the M table. Okay. So you see M table has got how many rows, how many columns? 8 columns. You can count them, 8 columns. And if you want to see what is the data there, so you can write select star from followed by the table name. If you need to see what information is contained in a table, you should write select star from M. Okay, this is one way of picking up the information. So if I click on it, you can see the information like this. Then if the information is not, the display is not good, you can do something like this. Use this command, set line size 120. Okay, set line size 120. And then you can again run this command, select star from M. So now you can see the information very clearly that there is a employee Smith whose employee number is 7369, who's a clerk. And this MGR means that the manager of Smith is the employee with the employee number 7902. Okay, so can you tell me who is the manager of Smith? Is 7902, that is here, Ford. So the manager of Smith is Ford. This is what this information means, right? And the date on which Smith was hired, okay, the salary, and Smith does not get any commission. So if there is no commission, there won't be any value. We say that this is a null value. Okay, this is a null value. And Smith belongs to department number 20. Smith belongs to department number 20. That is what information is there in this table. So kindly see how I have gone with this. Okay. Similarly, you can describe the department table. So department table contains information about the department number, the name of the department, and the location of the department. And if I write here what all is there in the department table, you can see here that department number 10 is accounting, is located in New York, 20 is research, 30 is sales, 40 is operations, right? So this is the information that is contained in these tables. So once again, back here, okay, these are the tables which belong to the user squad. We are focusing on EMP and department table. So first I describe this M table here. These are the columns. So 8 columns are there. How many columns? 8 columns. And if I look at the number of rows here, you can see 14 rows are there. So M table has 8 columns and 14 rows. Okay. And if you need to see the display properly, you can set this command, environment command, set line size 120. And after you see 11 records, it is again giving the heading. If you don't wish that, okay. If you wish that the next heading line should be given after say 100 records, right? So what you can write here is set page size 100. Okay. So now if you list the M table, it would come like this. I hope you've understood what page size does. Set page size 100 would mean that the next header like this emp number, e-name, job, this would come after 100 records have been displayed. And obviously a table can contain hundreds and thousands of records. This is just an example of this emp table. Okay. And similarly, the department table, you can see it has how many rows? As you can see here, it has got 4 rows, 3 columns and 4 rows. So if we need to display certain specific columns from the table, like if I use here select star from M, okay, select star from M, what does this mean? This will display all the rows and all the columns from the table M. Okay, let's say I want to display only the emp number and e name, then I should write it like this. Okay, select emp number comma e name from M. See, select, after select, if you write a star, that means all the rows and all the columns. Okay, so star basically in select means all the columns. Okay, rows, if you don't mention any condition, then all the rows would always be displayed. So if I write, see this select, which gives you this output 14 rows. Okay. This select would also again give you 14 rows, but only two columns, emp number and ename. Look on screen. Okay. Can you see the differentiation of these two commands? Select followed by a star would mean display all the columns from table name, right? There is no condition, so all the rows would be there. Okay. If you write after select, you mention the column names, then only those columns are displayed. Okay. One step ahead, I'll just put some condition here where say salary is greater than 2500. This is some condition. So I'm saying display the employee number and e-name. Okay. For all the employees whose salary is greater than 2500. So can you see, let's count how many are there more than 2500. This is 1, 2975, 28502, 3003, 5004 and 3005. So 5 rows would be displayed if I display this. So 5 rows are displayed. There is no information how many rows are there. So you see, when I'm using this, it is not saying 5 rows. Okay. So maybe we can set some environment here. Set feed on. Let's check on this. And then run this. Yeah. So feed is feedback environment. Okay. Sometimes it is turned off. So if I have written set feed on, okay, that means whatever command I'm using, it should give a proper feedback after that. So select this. This displays 5 rows. So it says 5 rows selected. Okay. So this is just the beginning. Okay. So now you can see what our select looks like. Select, then followed by the column names, from followed by the table name, where followed by some condition. Okay. And condition could be multiple conditions also. So you can use your and or operators and not operators with that. So that detail we would go in our this lab session today, right? So, but you have your first, interaction with the select statement. Once again, select is followed by the column names separated by commas. If you put a star here, it would mean it would display all the columns. And then there is a from keyword, and which is followed by the name of the table. Then there is a where keyword, which lets you put a condition on how many rows would be displayed. So whatever rows satisfy this condition would be displayed. So like we see, only 5 rows satisfy this condition where salary is greater than 2500. All right. So that is how select works.